Seth, you ready?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm ready.
You gonna give this to the clap?
Yeah, yeah. Hey everybody, it's Rob Lee from National Fire Radio with Tucker Daly. We're very excited to be on location at Old Engine No. 7 Sign Production Company. It's a hobby, it's not an actual company. But anyway, we're here with the one and only Dan Schultz.
Soon to be, though.
Yeah, soon to be. After today, we're going to have to get some lawyers involved, probably. So anyway, we're here with Dan. Dan, say hello to the audience out there.
Hello, everybody.
It's only like 9 million. No, I'm just kidding. It's not.
I thought there'd be more.
It might be.
But yeah, hey, who knows? So, interesting thing about Dan, I have a connection with Dan. I used to actually work in the city of Poughkeepsie as a firefighter. Dan's a dispatcher there. So that was how we kind of meshed up to begin with. And he's just a stand-up brother. Does the signs on the side. He helped me out with a couple of different things when I was going through some stuff and a few other people. So we're going to kind of dive right into it here and get into it with Dan. So what is Old Engine No. 7 Sign Company?
Old Engine 7 Sign Company is a hobby of mine. Started, I think, 4 winters ago now. The kids were at school, and of course I have a lot of time off with my schedule, so I'm home during the day doing nothing. And this winter was really cold. Like, you couldn't even go outside. So I couldn't go out to my grandfather's farm and shed hunt for deer antlers and stuff like I used to do. And I'm like, I need something to do. I'm bored. And I was just searching the internet one day. I was like, oh, that looks cool. Let me try something like that. Mm-hmm. So I did a sign with hose, fire hose, that I painted on. It was tough. I did it for Engine 2 in the city of Poughkeepsie. And a couple hose flags, and I saw an actual wooden sign. So let me try that. That looks pretty easy and pretty cool. So I did one for Ladder 1, and it came out cool. And then I did it more and more, and now they're actually looking pretty good.
Mm-hmm. How many have you done?
Hundreds. I lost count after 100.
Wow.
The first year, my 100th sign was a Navy SEAL trident for Marcus Luttrell. So
wow.
That was awesome.
Yeah, I remember seeing that one, and that was in your first year.
Yeah.
Of just like kind of putting that information out there. And,
some were tiny little ones, and some were big. But, yeah, 100 pieces.
Are you dating and signing them?
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. Matter of fact, this year I delivered a couple to Yonkers that were dated from 2015.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, also I think we had you do one of the first signs for us in Fairview was a retirement sign for the secretary who was moving on, and like I didn't expect it to happen, but all of a sudden I looked over and I saw everybody was like kind of signing the sign as a farewell, and I'm
That's
like,
great.
Oh man, I don't
made my day. He was mortified.
Yeah,
and I was like,
oh no, that's perfect.
awesome.
This artwork is gonna get like.
Nope.
And then like he posted on Facebook. He said, "I can't believe how they desecrated my sign." And then like it was like followed up with like, I thought I was like I stopped reading at that point. And went to a blackout.
He was mortified.
But yeah, it was all positive, so it was great.
You can't get any better than that, you know.
Yeah,
my stuff that I do here in the back then it was our old living room or dining room. Sorry. The kids help sometimes, you know, my wife helps.
So it's a whole family project.
Used to be, they're not so helpful anymore.
I know how that goes when they get older.
Yes.
Yeah. Tucker's a landlord now. Didn't realize he was going to be doing that in his future, but yeah.
Awesome.
So now, the fire service, obviously, like, we all know Dan here, but like for the viewers that are out there, like, the fire service is a pretty, if you haven't figured out from the set that we're on here in the shop, is a big influence. Where did you start your fire service career at, and what was kind of the spark that got you going?
My dad was a fireman, and where we grew up not very close to my dad. My parents were divorced when we were young, but my stepfather at the time we lived in Millbrook, grew up in Millbrook, so you could join Millbrook at 16, which I did. My 16th birthday I was there. My first call was a fatal farm accident, which was kind of an eye-opener. You know, a little kid went up in a silo, suffocated, but I had zero part in it, so it did nothing to me. Went through the process, become a junior fireman at 16, and I spent a long time at Millbrook. Made lieutenant there, did lieutenant for 3 years, training officer. We got married and we moved to Dover. I did 2 years in Dover. We moved back to Millbrook for 2 years, I think. And then we've been back in Dover since. So 28 years altogether, and it flew by.
What was your first fire?
I knew you were going to ask that. My first fire, believe it or not, was a mutual aid fire with Dover.
Okay.
Yep, it was on Hammond Hill Road. I was 16, and It was a car on fire in the garage of a raised ranch. And I thought it was the coolest thing ever, you know, that watching these firemen stop this problem. And I remember the driver of the first due engine was our old 214 in Millbrook. It was a big Ward LaFrance. It was beautiful, huge. I was assigned to help him. So he's like, give me a 4 to 5 Storts. I'm 16 years old. I just got in. I have no idea what a 4 to 5 Storts is. So I asked for a 45 Stork.
And all these babies started showing up.
Whoa. Well, we got what we needed, and it was cool. I had my pull-up boots pulled all the way up, my long coat buttoned to the top, my leather helmet without the impact cap. I was doing it, you know.
You were ready. Now, what was like the first fire like on the line for you, where you were like, hey, like this is like after essential firefighting, because like a lot of the younger generation doesn't know what essential firefighting or initial fire attack is.
39 hours of pure fun.
Right.
My first fire, and this will be a little bit embarrassing. Canoe Hill Road, went to the same house for 3 fires. They progressed through my career.
You got your money.
First one, we had Scott 2As. You know, the air.
Yep.
We had just gotten 2.2s delivered, and they were sitting in the firehouse. My cousin was at the firehouse. I said, hey, if we get a fire, you going to grab one of those and take it? He's like, yeah, I am. We get a fire. We didn't take those. So we get there. It's a Cape Cod. I was 18. You know, I was you know, very young still, not much experience. Chief says, all right, go upstairs. You got fire in the room on your right or left and fire in the room on your right. I was like, so there's fire on both sides? He's like, yeah. I was like, I'm not going up there. He's like, what do you mean? He's like, I'm not going up there. I took my mask off and that was it. I was done. I said, that's it. I'm not going to be a fireman. This is not for me. I don't know what it was, because I would really love a do-over. Whole second floor on fire?
Yeah.
Come on. It was just one room. It was a room to the right. It was a bedroom fire. It was a TV, got into to the ceiling and just rolled around a little bit. And they knocked it down quick, and I was the biggest wuss ever. And I made a point to never have that happen to me again.
All right. Well, I mean, that's... So
Is that what forced you into being an instructor?
No, but I did spend a lot of time at the fire training center after that, doing live burns, getting confident, and because that was a huge blow to my ego. I was like, wow, how can you call yourself a fireman if you don't want to go in fires? And now I look back, and I kind of robbed myself of a really great experience because it was a good fire. And then in 2001, it was actually September 10th, 2001, the day before the fire service changed forever. I was newly hired in Poughkeepsie. I was driving home. We got a call for a structure fire at the same house. And it was the second floor, and the whole second floor was going this time. And I was on the nozzle there, so I was like, oh, kind of.
So you said it was a ranch first. Did it become a two-family?
No. The first fire when I was 16 was a raised ranch.
Oh, okay.
My first fire on the line was a Cape Cod.
I thought you were saying it was at the same house.
No.
I was like, oh, okay.
We
That's
went
why
there
they
3
built
times. The last one did the job. Yeah. So yeah, it was an eye-opener. You know, it's obviously not for everybody, but luckily it turned out it was for me.
That's something that happened like that. They wouldn't even say anything, but like that's
Well,
awesome
what it is.
because
There's too many guys to know about it to not.
yeah, but even that like
it changed you though.
Yeah,
It did.
changed you, and you did something about it.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
So that's awesome.
You know, the guys took care of me. They worked with me, and yeah, it was kind of an eye opener. But again, like I said, there was not that experience with us. It was, I mean, and we were using a Rockwell nozzle. You know.
Yeah.
We grew up with some
You have
crap
a brass one.
It's heavy as hell too.
Oh, that is so
I think
cool.
the
I want the
adjustable
wand.
Akron is one of the that was modern technology when I started. Like guys were very excited that we had that.
When I started, we had these.
Easy, Mr. Taylor.
We were using those PDQs.
These?
Yeah. And those were awful.
Yep.
Right.
Push them through
This
the
is
lenses
the,
and whatnot.
This is the workhorse right here, though. Elkhart Brass 1516 smoothbore. This is like one of my prized possessions, and it really doesn't know justice being in here in the shop. Then, I mean, it's got to go to work eventually.
You don't have a garden hose that'll fit that?
No.
One day we'll increase the pump for the house.
It's going to end up at the county training center eventually, and really that's the goal, is to give them good stuff.
Yeah.
And if I can get that through work, because I've done a lot of work for Elkhart,
So
and I have more coming up.
which kind of leads us into our next question is because there's a lot of stuff on your resume that you don't even realize, but like one of the things that I was talking to Jeremy about it before we got here, I said like, you know, I was like, one of the things that Dan's like stand up and you can watch his social media about it, but like he's at the training center, like, and you know, these guys came up from Jersey tonight, so they're like, where are we? And I'm like, and I said, well, you know where Marist is, because Jeremy went there. I was like, but we are like an hour away, you know, or 40 minutes away from Poughkeepsie, depending on the traffic. And like this guy goes out to the training center to help out with these classes and to put like his best foot forward and to pass the knowledge along. And I think that's incredible. And like what inspires you to do that? Because I know for some of us, like we get like, you know, it's instruction. It can be difficult from times.
Yes. And I had some really difficult instructors growing up, and again, I don't want to sound like a wuss, but I used to be afraid of ladders, and I was like, I'm not doing ladders, and I gypped myself out of so much cool stuff where if I was on that ladder, I could have done this, and now I love ladders. That's my thing, but my instructors never pushed me. I said, I don't want to do that. All right, well then don't do it. Well, I'm going to take someone who says, well, I know you can do this because I did it.
Right.
And I hated it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. And then you're going to like it. Then you're going to get good at it. And when you get to a scene, they're going to like, I want him because I not, you know, we know that they're competent and they can do it. So I learned to do a lot of my skills there.
So how long did it take you to get over that? Or was it forced?
I forced myself. Yeah.
Because a lot of times...
If you talk enough, you build up a reputation that you kind of have to enforce.
So you were talk and then had to back it up?
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
And when I went to the fire academy in 04, Mark Griffin was a lieutenant in White Plains at the time. He's one of our academy instructors. And they threw a 45... We threw, I shouldn't say they, we threw the 45-foot banger ladder up on the training center in Westchester on the tower, and I climbed up it and I came back down and he's like, hey, what'd you think? I was like, actually, I was like, can I be honest with you? I said, I'm not really good with ladders. I said, that scared the crap out of me, but I want to do it again because I know that I don't have a choice anymore.
Right.
Like I said, and I'm not trying to knock what I did as a volunteer, but I know now that like my job is to go up that ladder if I need it.
There's no, I don't want to do this.
And he said, he's like, well then go up it as much as you want. I went up and down that ladder like 6 or 7 times at night, going through the window, or that day going through the window, and just to reinforce it. And it was like, you know, it was.
I've never done the up and over, but I want to do that because that will be a game changer.
Yeah,
we did that. We used to do that for our open houses, and you know, all the guys would stand out there with the ropes and you go up and over the top. And the first time, you know, it's always challenging, you know, because it's not like a normal ladder. I mean, usually you're on something. And now you're going straight up, which it's okay, you know, when you get through the first, maybe even the second. But once you get onto the third, and then you're starting to go up and you think you're getting tighter to the ladder.
Oh, sure.
You know, and you know, you're just going slower. And you know, then you get to the top and you almost take a breath. But then you look around and everything is fantastic, you know. It's like, wow, look at this. And you go over the top and you come down. And you get to the bottom and you know, you were kind of hesitant to go up, but now you're like, I want to go up again.
Yeah.
You know? And
it's like I tell my kids, you're nervous for nothing.
Yeah. And
when you do something, like, oh, that was it?
We no longer do that, but... you know, that was a great thing. It really had nothing to do with firefighting other than possibly to get you over that distance of the ladder and, you know, the height, and then you look down and, you know, you start feeling comfortable after a while when you do it over and over again. And, you know, it was just one of those things. And we didn't have a ladder truck at that time.
See, neither do we.
And now we do. Climbing up the ladder truck's easy.
Yeah.
You know,
that auditorium raise will get you every time. I think when I got to the top, I clipped in with the ladder belt, and I remember thinking to myself, I looked at my leg and I was like, all right, bud, you have to get over the top of this rung and those 2 ropes.
Yeah.
You can do it. And then saying to myself, like, I really hope can do this, or else it's going to go horribly. But yeah, you know, it's that confidence.
And then you went to the Westchester Academy?
Mm-hmm.
Did you have to do Pompierre's?
No, we were not allowed to do Pompierre's. We tried to persuade Lieutenant Griffin and Captain Kane, and actually Lieutenant Walsh was our lead from Arlington.
Yeah.
And they were like, nope, we can't. Like, well, we have the net. And they're like, yeah, don't talk about this. Like, the safety net was this thing that we didn't talk about because we were not sure of what the safety net was going to do.
Oh, no, it was questionable.
Yeah. Like, I think it was Neil Caputo.
Hey, they worked in all the cartoons.
Right. That's what I said. Like, but...
Have you had the pleasure of climbing one?
I have climbed them, but as far as that net, that dropped out way before I went to the fire academy. But I always wanted to jump into it.
No.
But you know, then seeing actually how it operates, yeah. No, you gotta have much more confidence in those people holding it than any of the instructors or any of the people around you.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones that are going to make the mistake.
And that's one thing I'm looking for my collection. I want a Pompierre ladder.
Yeah. So if
I know where there is
that
one.
has one, by all means, don't hesitate.
Cheap. I know where there's a lot of expensive ones.
Yeah.
So.
I will make you the nicest sign.
The fair trade.
That's right.
So,
oh, wait a second. Is that a ladder coming in right now? I think.
Well, that's the other goal, is to own a fire truck. But that's
lottery
I hope
money.
the fire trucks converted into campers.
Nope. I have a camper. We have a beautiful camper.
Yeah.
We actually want a bigger camper.
Well,
And
that's
we
why.
can tow it with the fire truck.
That's why you get a rescue
Yeah,
truck.
that's what I'm saying. I just want to go to grocery shopping with a fire engine. I mean,
I just want to sit in the
honey,
yard
you need
and
milk?
blare
I'll
the
be back in
Q2
10 minutes.
and wail on
Yep.
the power call.
So, going in, like, just here in the shop, I mean, like, we've got so much culture and tradition surrounding us. I mean, like, I don't honestly know. We talked about it a little bit before we started filming, but, like, what are some of the things that are surrounding us that you can kind of touch on and be like, hey, like, this is like a... I mean, the wall could probably be talking for more than we...
Something that's special for you.
Yeah.
The most special thing is probably the pictures. Definitely the pictures, because I've done a lot of cool stuff with a lot of cool people. I mean, just the training alone, all these students that have gone through, the instructors, Frank. I mean, I love Frank, like more than I probably should, but he's taught me so much that I'll never be able to pay him back. Mark, Bendel, Victor, we did the first stair climb down at City Field.
Mark Bendel, for everybody that's listening, is the one who wrote Mark's rant at the beginning of when we first started out on National Fire Radio. We shared it, something that he put out there a long time ago about love for the job and what it was all about. So that's who we're referencing over here in the photo. We'll get a shot of that later on, but
yeah. So definitely the pictures. There's Timbo, line of duty death, City Poughkeepsie, and that's Ray. We call him Ray CL. He was a City Poughkeepsie animal control officer. Took his own life a couple of years ago, and that still hurts. He was a good dude, and it was just a bad situation, So.
with the stair climbs, you got a couple of different ID cards up there, but the one I can identify with is Chris Blackwell from Rescue 3.
Yep.
Because I worked at Sloper Willen.
I just that was this year in the summer at the Chief show. Chief Mater put that to the side so I could have that one.
Okay.
Paul Tegmeyer done for Paul my first stair climb, also from Hyde Park. And this is kind of cool. Tommy Foley. This is Don Robinson's cousin.
Oh, okay.
I randomly got this at the first stair climb I did for the Chief show. I pulled it out and gave me goosebumps.
Yeah.
One of my good friends, this is his cousin. Rescue 3. So, and the kids have done the stair climbs. I love the stair climbs. We're doing another one in September up in Albany, the Stephen Siller's Tunnel to Tower.
Yeah, I wore my shirt because I got roped into doing one from Scott Shaw from he's a volunteer with us in Fairview, and he's down in Montgomery County now. And he said it would be a great idea, and I was like, all right, Scott, and I was ready to strangle a little ginger when we got to the top, but it was well worth it.
We did the first one we did at City Field. We were in a stadium, and it was pretty steep. Then last year they moved it to Belmont Park. Not as steep. The stairs weren't as high. It was easy. We're still doing 2,200 steps. And like you said, at the end it was still we did it. You know, we took all these guys that didn't make it that day. We took them to the top.
Yeah.
And that's
It's
what,
symbolic.
It's the feeling that you get at the end. And it wouldn't matter if it was 2 flights of stairs.
Right.
You know, it's that we did it for somebody else so that they're remembered, and you know, we're all brothers.
And we're raising a tremendous amount of money for the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation and the FDNY counseling unit. Stephen Siller's Tunnel to Tower. They do amazing things. That's 2 separate stair climbs. There's that. It's the stair climbs in the 5Ks. They do for Stephen Siller. And then the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation do the stair climbs, the golf outings, and other things.
The first year I did the 5K for the Tunnel of Towers was pretty interesting because for those of you out there, I was a fireman at the time, and my lieutenant was Alan Jones, great officer and a great mentor, and he was going to flip school at the time. So I'm thinking it's a weekend, he's going to be home, so like we come running through the tower, or running through the tunnel rather, up to the towers, and we get out of the tunnel. I'm like, man, that guy looks like Jonesy. And I'm like, and I did a double take, but like he was facing all the runners coming out, so I was just looking at the back of somebody's head. I'm like, probably not him. And then we're in the finish line. And some people are like, yeah, did you see Jonesy? And I'm like, that was him? And they're like, yeah. And then like he was dancing on a video, what's his name was playing, and he was out there dancing.
Oh, I saw that video.
Yep, yeah.
Yep, I bumped into him at Home Depot the other day getting wood.
Yeah, but he it was a great experience. And then like the tunnel or the stair climb, one of the things that I remember the most on top of all the stairs was that if you're able to do the stair climb for the Stephen Siller Foundation at the Freedom Tower, by all means do it. Spoiler alert, the 4th floor is not the 4th floor, it's actually the 20th floor. And the security guy that was there to make sure that we didn't like leave the stairwell, I just remember him saying like, you got to the 4th floor, guys. You only got 96 more to go. And I went, I've been walking up for more than 4 floors. And then like the next floor was like, you're at 22. And I'm like, oh, thank God. But yeah, it was a great, great experience. So.
And it's something that everyone can do. And that's what I'm telling people around here. Mark Christensen from Wasake. You know Mark from seeing around. He's a great guy. And you talk true brotherhood. He's got it in him. He wants to do it. And my buddy Verge wants to do it. And Verge done the stair climb at the Chief show with us. Verge is in good shape. Anyone can do the one at Belmont Park. It's not hard. It's just take your time. Hit each step. Do it. Come down. It's amazing. They give you a barbecue afterwards. The food was insane. The opening ceremonies were great. We saw celebrities. You know, it was cool. Everyone should do it. Everyone should go to Belmont Park, the national... Matter of fact, I've got the flyer here, and it's so cool that they use this handsome guy here on the flyer.
Is that?
That would be me.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that. We got a regular.
That's my claim to fame. I'm going to autograph those and give them away.
Well, we'll need to get one of those for our wall then.
Yeah, definitely.
But I mean, both my kids do it. My wife did it last year.
And that's one thing too. Like we're kind of like your family is involved in the fire service, and it's one of the most positive things that I think I see. Like out there on social media, because like, you have your son with you, you have your daughter, you have your wife, like everybody is kind of involved in this, and it's a great experience because I think for a lot of people, especially what we talk about on the program, is this culture and tradition. We're afraid it's kind of sleeping out, but here you are forging this way to make sure.
Well, it's our job to pass it along to like Andrew. He's going to be joining this year as a junior.
Yeah.
Natalie in 6 years. You know, my wife was a lieutenant for a long time, and.
Now she had to give it up to take care of the family.
Yeah. And I keep threatening her, you can come back, you can come back.
and to take care of Dan too, I mean, like, no.
But we're all here too, so why don't we bring him in?
Yeah.
Let's bring him in. No.
So, everybody, we're here at Old Engine number 7 Sign Company with our buddy Dan Shultz, and now we're going to introduce
Andrew
and
Natalie.
This is his son and daughter, and they are both very much, we were just kind of segueing into this about how to have a family involved in the fire service. So it's good to have you guys on here. What is, for you two, what is one of the things that you guys really enjoy about, like, Dad and the fire department and all this stuff that's kind of happening?
Sometimes I get to go to Mondays at the firehouse.
You know, Mondays are work detail night, so we...
Andrew, for you, what's some of the things that you enjoy about it?
Like she said, I enjoy going down on Monday nights, but I also enjoy learning before I'm in, so I have a little bit of experience when I go in. That way I get to know how it is before if I want to decide maybe do this as a career.
Yeah,
I know before I need to make big decisions, yeah.
That's good, that's good.
You got time.
Yeah, you have time.
Yeah.
That's always...
And more importantly, he's got the guidance.
Yeah.
When I was his age, I didn't really have the guidance. Like I said, there wasn't a lot of career jobs out there. So to find someone that knew the ins and outs of civil service and tricks of the trade to get hired, we didn't know that. We kind of winged it. And we literally got the best candidate because they were the strongest candidate. Now there's more opportunities. There's, you know, and I kind of know the system. So he's got a good chance. You know, he keeps getting told if he goes to Horry County, you know, my mom lives down there, he can get hired pretty quickly because they're hurting for people. They're always hiring. Busy department. It's a decent job. You're not making the money they make up here, obviously, but the cost of living and you know, now's the time for him to go when he doesn't have New York bills to sustain.
Yeah, and one of my old partners from Alamo, Matt Rice, is a captain down there.
Really?
So yeah, he's
You know Charlie Nash?
Yep, Charlie. I relieve Charlie and Pauling, and if Charlie listens in today, he'll be like,
Battalion chief.
yeah, that guy relieved me late once, and I never let him hear the end of it, and he didn't. So thank God for that. But yeah, and then there was Mike Sammons was a local medic for Mobile Life that was down there. So it was good people going down.
Yeah.
Plus, if you get into Horry County, you'll get a good graduation class signed. So
That's right.
You know.
Well, it's funny. We went down last year for vacation.
Yeah.
And I got invited to the fire academy. So I met a bunch of guys and checked out their facility. It was pretty cool. So yeah, you'll get some signs if you go down.
So other than the Monday nights, like what are some of the cool adventures that you've got to take with Dad on with some of this stuff?
Back when I did singing lessons, before when he took me, we went early and we went around the place where it was, and he showed me where fires were.
Oh, so he took you on a fire tour.
Yeah.
Was that in Poughkeepsie?
No, it was here in Wingdale.
Here in Wingdale? Okay, all right.
This one road, I've been to a lot of fires in this one road.
But you know, we really miss the page with them on fire prevention. So, but
Yeah.
what about yourself? What's one of the cool things that you got to do?
I get to, if I'm lucky, not anymore, because now he can drive the trucks. I used to be able to go to some calls with him.
Okay.
But I also go out to the training center with him a lot. I get to learn even
That's
more
our thing,
hands-on. Yep.
Yeah, it's funny because I've seen the post of you working the bar on the Forcible Entry Simulator.
Oh yeah.
And I was just like, when I saw it, I was like, that is great. Like, the other thing is, I see the same face in your father as I see in you with the determination. And you're like, I'm gonna force this door,
Yeah.
or this door ain't
That
gonna
was
survive.
the door in Pauling. Pauling has their own door. Now he can come with me to the training center if I'm going as an instructor helper or an instructor, not as a student. Because if I'm there as a student, I'm all in to learn. So he stays here.
Yeah.
But from watching me, watching Frank, watching Murph, teaching the forcible entry class, he picked it all up. And we're at Pauling one night. He says, "Dad, can I try it?" I was like, "Yeah, real quick, before anyone sees you, go ahead and try it." And that's the video I took. It was spot on. Like,
I love how you say, yeah, before anybody sees you, but let me videotape this.
he didn't have gloves on.
That was the big
the
thing,
safety
yeah.
police.
Yeah. Well, we jokingly talk about it because, like, we were just down in Garfield, New Jersey, doing an apparatus innovation on a rescue engine, and they opted to put a booster reel, and we had a little spat with somebody on the, from the safety battalion that got activated, like the satellites linked up and everything, about how booster reels were killing firemen. And it was just it was like that aspect of our culture. I think they have maybe some well intentions sometimes, but like really it's one of those things that can kind of,
But it's a choice thing. I mean, you look at engines and how they've been built over the last 20 years, things are going back to,
Yes.
I mean, we had trash lines for a long time and no one had booster reels. Now we're going back to booster reels. Trash lines, some of those compartments can get all full of crap in them, just from road.
Yeah.
The road dirt, because you all have those holes in it, so they leak through, and it gets dirt in there, and then you never wash that hose, and then when you go to use it, the nozzle doesn't work anymore. So, things go through these cycles. When I came in, we were getting rid of all of the solid bore nozzles because they were bad.
Oh right, yeah. Back then,
and we were going to automatic nozzles, task force tip, was the big one especially. And, now we're having both.
Right.
Or something that's a combination.
Yeah, I mean, I think over time, right? Like tried and true methods.
Yeah.
Everything old is new again.
Yeah, and that is it's a very good way to put it. And I think, just to segue kind of with the kids sitting here, and like, what an amazing opportunity, right? Like, I don't know, Dan, I'm overwhelmed by you having us here, your home, your workshop, your kids, and instilling the values of the fire service into your children. And I grew up in the firehouse just like you guys did. Yeah. And to know what it's like to be invited down by your father to go to the firehouse on a Monday night, right? Or to try the door prop, right? I mean, these are incredible opportunities. And, to see tonight being here with you and having your family here, and this is why I just wanted to jump in real quick. I mean, it's not my episode, but I wanted to jump in because I just... Wow.
His episode.
All right, I'm going to exit stage left in a minute. But at the end of the day, like, and I'm being serious because, like, I want to capture both your stories.
No, that's buried.
Oh,
He wants the
my
little
elf
door
on
that
the
I made for
shelf?
the elf on the shelf.
Yeah.
I made a forcible entry door.
So yeah,
Yeah.
See
and
that?
you know what? And
That's
we'll
not
get
just with the Christmas
it
stuff,
will-
is
It's
it?
buried.
I was looking around for my elf on the shelf, and then I went into my dad's room. My dad's
The paint room upstairs.
paint room.
Right.
The desk setup.
And I looked, and I see a mini forcible door entry with one of the... Do you have one of the mini Halligans? One of the mini Halligans,
Halligan bottle opener.
Oh, yeah.
one of these had
Right.
an inner hand enforcing the door.
So, couple things on that one, Natalie, right? So, 1, 10 years old. 2, you're going to be able to force a door any day now. 3, the fact that you know what a forcible door and like prop is and what a Halligan bar is. I mean, it's a home run, Dan. You're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean that, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Having us here tonight with you.
And I can't help but think, like, you guys are definitely, will never, like, you're never going to be allowed to date, and I know that.
Never.
But I know that one day somebody's going to lock themselves out of your house, out of their car, their house, whatever. And you're going to be like, "Hey, I got this. Step aside, son."
Yeah.
And you're going to, like, get in there for them, and it's going to be an amazing experience.
Dad locked his truck and got the keys stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you opened it up for him. I believe it.
Yep.
No,
I believe
I
it.
didn't. No.
But I think real quick
next
too,
week.
like just chatting like with the kids and having the kids on the set real quick. Like we've never done this before, but this is all about but I mean
It's good.
it's fantastic. Like it doesn't get better than this because there's so many kids, and we have a lot of kids that watch us too. That are just newly into the fire service, or their parents and they love the fire service, and it's a true testament to what it's all about. And to have your children here tonight with us, and just to capture their story real quick. And I know you guys do the stair climbs with your father, right? And you were talking about the stair climbs before, and we kind of talked about it a little bit, but like for you guys to understand the story behind it, right? Like your father has shared the story with you guys, and why this stair climb exists, because before September 11th, 2001, there was no stair climb.
Right.
And I think for you guys to understand that and to just grasp onto that, I think it's huge. Like
Considering neither one was alive at that time.
of course, to instill those values and those ethics and those morals, right, and to really understand like what it's about, sells the fire service. The fire service.
Well, it's part of
right?
that family.
Yeah,
It's part
right.
of the brotherhood.
Right.
It's part of the whole thing. And that's how, with the junior programs, that's how you build everything. The kids learn, they want to become firemen.
Yeah.
And they love
Right.
it. I mean, and as long as the people who are instructing them love it in the same way, you're going to have good outcomes.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. And I'm so glad you had us here. And I'm glad you're sitting here and you get to see yourself and all your friends when I see this. But I think it's
Your
great.
friends are going to see that.
But let me ask you this, right? So I have my kids are very close to your age, and then I have 2 older kids that are older and don't they don't care about me anymore. But at the end of the day, right? Like your father. I mean, you must look up to him and think that it's an incredible thing that he does. No?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To the point where us flipping tires, hitting them with sledgehammers is awesome.
Yeah.
How
See,
amazing
now
is
you're
that?
practicing
We go extra.
to get the job. You're
Yeah.
practicing
You didn't get to see the
job.
driveway. We got a couple big tires, tractor tire, and I flip them, hit them with a hammer. They have a tire.
Full gear.
Nice.
Yeah, we do gear, air pack,
Run
The
around
glass
the
mask, right?
the blast mask.
Nice.
It's awesome.
At
Who
our
aren't sponsoring
campground.
us, for the way, just throwing it out there. But,
And can you use the big sledgehammer there?
We don't use a sledgehammer. We use the pig.
There you go.
Pig.
Pig.
Careful now. That's what we do all our training with is with the pig.
8 pounds of special stuff, huh?
8.5 pounds of kick ass. Yep.
And I mean, I just, you know, whatever you want to call it, right? It's exercise, it's training, it's this and
Yeah.
that. But you know what it is? It's you spending time with your kids. And it's you spending time with your kids in a way that you love and instilling those values into your children. And I think that's huge. Like,
Thank you.
we don't find that
no.
much. My wife some days wants to strangle me, my kids forget who I am, and then other days I try to, you know, be home as much as I can and so on. But it's the love for the job, it's the love for the family, but at the end of the day, the love for the job is family, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It starts at home, and it's the support of your beautiful wife who's off camera, who does not want to be on camera tonight, which is perfectly
It's
fine.
beautiful.
I agree, and your kids, and just being here and in your shop, and you welcoming us into, I can't talk, into your shop tonight.
But you know that I also have a gift.
So rumor had it. I mean, there was.
Yeah.
This has been all right. So let me preface this because I.
Long intro.
This is no. This is.
This is Rob's show.
I'm like.
Took us up
This
to-
is no. Hold on. Let's just preface it this way, right? So from day one, we started our platform, and I know Sebi's filming this, and I want this on camera because I want this to be part of what we do. We started this back in February of this year. It is only August now, right? Oh my God, it's August. So August, right? Here we are.
Yeah.
And we've, I think, come a long way with what we've been doing, and we've been gaining market share. And I think why it's so successful is because of the fantastic brothers and sisters out there that follow us, because we're putting out original content and things that people want to see. And we're bringing real stories, the kids, the story, the brotherhood, the family, sharing fires. I mean, all of that, right? That's what it's all about. But from day one, Dan, you have been a fan and a supporter of us, and we've been a huge fan of yours. And I'm
Thank you.
I'm in awe of the work that you can do, because I cannot do anything like that. I mean, I think it's incredible, and it's an incredible craft. But I'm sitting here tonight like a little kid on Christmas because I know that you did a sign or something for us, and I don't know what it is. I have
Well,
no
it's a
idea what
torch
it looks
then.
like.
You can get it later.
So-
Oh, we're gonna have to.
but anyway, long story short,
Every
we
time you
thank you.
ask, we wait another 5 minutes, Jerry.
Thank you. Thank you for your support, and we appreciate it, because you've been there from day one when we started,
Thank you.
and we support you 100%, and that's why we're here tonight, and we wanted to share that with you. So, pretty cool.
What are you doing?
I made it. You have a logo in your shop or your studio.
Yeah,
I didn't want to mimic that. I wanted something different,
it's awesome.
and I made it smaller so you can keep everything else that's in there. I don't want to overwhelm it. So
How cool is that?
That's awesome, man.
Nice.
simple
That's sick.
but effective, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's really
great.
fun that you have it on your arm somewhere.
It is very similar
That
to my
is-
tattoo. Yeah.
That is cool.
There we go.
That is
See,
fantastic.
we are so good. He's already done a tattoo.
That's my National Fire Radio tattoo.
That's very cool. This is going front and center, man.
And
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
I really
Dan, thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you,
This
buddy.
is cool. This is cool. Everything that we're about, this is what it's about. It's
That
about
is
the brotherhood. It's about family. It's about right and wrong.
Oh, I
Seb, you
did.
got that?
Yeah.
We'll do that.
Oh, I got it.
Good work.
That's cool.
Because
That's
you
really
guys
cool.
are doing amazing work, and
Thank you, brother.
like I said
Thanks.
before, you're taking off like wildfire, if you will, and it's good.
Very
it's good.
cool, brother. Thank you. This is awesome. Signed on the back.
Always.
Keep up the good work. That's cool. Thank you,
You're welcome.
brother. This is going
Thank
front and
you.
center. And guys, this guy's an all-star. So hit him up. Check him out on social media. I'm gonna step out now. I got what I wanted. I'm out of here. No way. This
I'm
is
gonna have to find another ride home.
this is awesome.
Tractor Supply.
This is
That's where we went to the
super
garden.
cool. So
Yeah.
Dan, thank you, brother.
Thank
That
you.
is- that's huge. So, and we thank you for following and so on. We really do. But I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So let's we'll transition a little bit here. Like, what's a the fire service? Like, obviously, like we haven't already figured it out, but like, what are some of the memorable things that have happened for yourself in your career that you like really hold dear to your heart about, like, like you're like, yeah, like this is the place for me.
There's been a couple things over the years. When I was in Millbrook, I was a lieutenant, and I really enjoyed being an officer. I liked that command part of it. I thought I was good at it. I had an awesome fire chief, Tony DeMarco. He's chief of Hudson in Columbia County now.
Okay.
Talented guy. Probably the best fire chief I know, and I know a lot.
Do you think you'd talk to us?
Yeah. Tony, you're going to talk to them. They'll bring you cinnamon buns. Because when I would get in trouble, officer meetings, I would bring him a cinnamon bun. And I wasn't in trouble anymore. But he let me, and Brian Hay was deputy chief, we had a fire, and officers were issued air packs. I got there, I was first on the scene, working fire, we're doing our thing, put my air pack on. Tony would come up, he says, what do you need? I said, I got this, and this, you know, going so far. He's like, all right, keep it up. And he would go be a fireman. And I learned more from him by doing that, you know, than watching him.
A true definition of mentorship right
Absolutely. Succession training. He was letting me, he wasn't going to let me go far if I were making a mistake, but he let me be the incident commander. I ran 2 good fires and then a natural gas explosion where we had to fly 2 people out, which was really sketchy. So
Yeah.
that was cool. So that was one good mentorship. Lou Casanelli was one of my chiefs way back when he was a volunteer before he got on the job, and I learned more from Lou probably than almost everybody except for Frank. Frank's bar none the one that's taught me the most. But you know, it's so much at the training center. That's kind of my thing now. Like I said before, my grandfather had a farm. I was big into archery and deer hunting, and that property, that Gramps land as we call it, that was where I would go to get away from the craziness of public safety and, you know, just be myself and kind of let it all out and relax. And when Gramp died and the farm got sold, I had nowhere to go. And I didn't realize it until recently that when I go to the training center, it's kind of taken the place of Gramp's farm because I can be myself. It's my area. You know, it's kind of hard to explain, but
You let your hair down, essentially. It's
yeah,
like, you know,
yeah, to a certain extent. You know, you still have to be professional and train the kids. I say kids because they're all kids at my age. But we've had older guys come through that are rock stars too. The students, it's just amazing to watch them learn. Day one they get there, they're scared. They have very little training, and by the last day, they're not perfect by any means, you know. But it's cool to watch them.
How many students do you put through a year?
Classes range from, I think the smallest was like 12 to one of Carl Q's classes was like 30 some odd, maybe 40. I don't know. It's a decent
And what's
amount.
the total for the academy for the year? Do you have any
I
idea?
don't know. No.
It's tough because you have so many. You have county and state classes
Right.
coming through.
Oh, okay.
So it's a mixture of both.
You know, I applied for the county fire coordinator position for training, so fingers crossed that would
Nice.
I would know that answer then.
Who do we have to call?
No phone calls.
So-
If I don't get it, I don't get it. I want it all on me.
One of the things I think too is like for a lot of us is like I talked about at the beginning is like being in the starting out my career in Poughkeepsie and having you on the other end of the radio, and I think that like my mom retired after numerous years in Sullivan County as a 911 supervisor, but it's a part that's often looked as a dispatcher, and especially when you're involved in the fire service, because now you have this like yin and yang of the other side of the radio. Like, and I was telling Jeremy and Tucker and Sebi about like the old 3 bells in Poughkeepsie, and you got when you got multiple calls hitting the game well system, and then
I don't do anything. I'm extra. That's what you guys call it, right? I'm extra.
I don't know.
I do things a little over the top.
but we I even saying like the attention engines 1, 2, 3, ladder 1, ladder 2.
I'm a big fan of traditions.
And and we keep that alive. And like in your career, you've had how many incidents?
Tons.
And like, is there anything that you can say like from that? Like, well, first off, like there's always things to learn from the radio.
Absolutely.
I think Ed Decker is an example.
Let me
of
ask
that,
you
too,
this.
but-
I mean, you guys are dispatchers, or have been, and I've never done that end. Is there like, what do you see differently from dispatching as being on the job? Or, I've been incident commander of a lot of things, and I've bounced off stuff off the dispatchers, but I've never gotten a feeling of what they're feeling, how they're reacting. You're not seeing the scene; it's not in front of you.
Right.
You're kind of getting
Which
it from
helps a little
other
bit.
people's eyes. So, take me through that.
All right. We're lucky in Poughkeepsie we have street cameras.
Oh,
And
yeah.
if you
okay.
couldn't tell, I'm a little bit of a buff. So I'm
So you got-
pointing every single camera towards where the incident might be. If I see a smoke column, you'll know there's a smoke column, and I'll tell you what color the smoke, what the velocity of the smoke. So, but if we can't see it, it kind of makes things easier in that facet because I don't have that sense of urgency. I know, all right, we have a fire.
Right.
Captain gets there, shift tour commander. He's like, oh, I need this, and you might, I'm not gonna say you might forget something because they usually don't, but I don't have that pressure on me. It's not right in front of me.
Right, that's
and
what
if he
I'm saying.
doesn't say something that's on the list of like 1075 is a working fire, right? If he doesn't say, give me, notify the water department, I'm doing that anyway because I don't have that urgency and I know it's got to be done because it's on a list in front of me, but but you also don't get that closure. Like I'll take a call for something and it could sound really bad. I had a kid that it was an overflow call. We are the county's backup center. It's a kid in LaGrange. This was years ago. God, probably 15 years ago. Father's frantic on the phone. The kid fell and scissors punctured her chest. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, she's got scissors in her heart. This little baby's gonna die. And it was nothing, really, because I finally found out years after. I asked one of the medics that was there. But I kept thinking about it. What happened to this kid? What happened to this kid?
Yeah,
don't
so you
get that
never
closure.
get the end of the call.
Right.
It's just the last call to say we're returning, or
Right.
in this case, we're going to X in the hospital.
Right, but in that
And-
case I didn't because it wasn't even in the city of Poughkeepsie. It was a county call.
Oh, wow.
So he's passing information right
Yeah.
over,
Right.
and then.
Right.
Well, and I was just want to jump in, like with the I always think about retired Deputy Chief Decker and how he always had that calm mannerism on the radio, and I think
That is
one
so key.
Oh, like
yeah,
super
but
calm.
like it's like if I played back these tapes for you, and maybe somebody can help us get some of them, but like. But seriously though, like this guy, when he got on the microphone and he transmitted, you listened to what he said, even if he wasn't talking to you, because he just had that. And I think like that's a unique perspective because you're a firefighter, but you're also getting these amazing size ups from
Right.
these officers who, in my world, are like all stars and are setting the example for all of us.
And two of the best were, rest their souls, both of them, Captain Sipes and Captain Brower. We had you were on the job on Hooker Avenue, right?
That was just before I got hired.
Okay.
Chad
was
the
there.
street. Yeah, Chad was there.
That
Yeah.
was amazing. I mean, he pulled up, and it's two houses and a garage going, and there's people inside, and he's calling me. He's like, car 10 to dispatcher. Back in the day, they said that, and like, go ahead, Cap. He's like, yeah, and he's coughing because he's in the smoke. He's inside the building because that's Captain Brower.
Right.
He was. He's like, we have heavy fire, two houses, and he asked for something, and I said, Cap, can I get you an engine out of Arlington, maybe with manpower? And he's coughing. He's like, yes, that'd be great. Let's invite them to this party.
Officers. Like that was
I like that.
but like
Compliment.
we were in this particular street where the neighborhood was very involved in what was going on as far as like making sure that we were moving faster than we should have been, and they were pretty upset. And one of the guys that he referenced, Chad, was a police officer, and I never got to see Chad as a police officer. I never knew him as a police officer, and there was no doubt on this night that when this guy grabbed the hose and said, "I'll take you to the fire," and he took the nozzle out of his hands, the nozzle came back, and then like the cop turned on in this turnout gear, and I'm sitting there putting my mask on. I'm like, Chad, like I think you got the point. And then like he went right back into fireman mode. But like it was just he requested a compliment of police officers.
Yes. And Captain Sipes, we would burn the whole city down, and he would just be like, okay, give me one more engine. Okay, give me one more engine. Okay, give me one more engine. And both good dudes, and we miss them terribly. And I believe, like Rob saw before, I have Captain Brower's lieutenant helmet on the wall. His daughter gave me, and that is probably my most prized possession in this whole room.
Yeah.
What is it?
The white one, the PFD.
Yeah.
Right here. Salty. They said if
Yeah.
it were, if it could talk, it would cough. There might be a nail in the eye ring. It'll come off. It'll come off.
Are you breaking more stuff, Jay?
Breaking it, please.
If
what I do,
If
as
the
Rob
80s didn't
points
break
out.
it,
That's cool.
don't put it on. No one's worn this except Captain Brower. And that was when he was lieutenant. He was lieutenant when I got hired.
So when I got hired, I was in the bunk room one day just watching television, and he came in and he was like, "No, not really. Just stay where you are, there, kid. Welcome to the group. Welcome to the group. I want to tell you a little story. All right. When you get the fire, okay, when a call comes in, the fire's gonna be burning. All right. You're gonna walk out to the rig, and the fire's gonna be going. Okay. You're gonna put your gear on and jump in the engine. The fire's gonna be going. All right. We'll drive there in a prudent manner, and the fire's gonna. And when we get on, the fire's gonna rip stem to stern, kid. But
Stem to stern.
I will burn every house down in this city, and you and Tim Flynn will have an empty lot to look at, but you'll be there alive, and that's all I care about at the end of the day. And that was, and I just remember I was like, wow, like, and you know, amongst other mannerisms that the guy had, but he was just an amazing mentor in that aspect.
100% gentleman.
So he's a good guy.
How did you come across that helmet? Like, how did you acquire it exactly?
His daughter used to be a City of Poughkeepsie dispatcher.
Okay.
And she knew I collected helmets, and one day she came in and said, "Here." And I was like, "What is this?" She goes, "It's my dad's helmet."
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible.
He died of medical problems.
Yeah,
he got real sick, Alzheimer's.
He got Alzheimer's, so he's you know.
Because of the smoke?
Nobody knows where Alzheimer's kind of comes from, but it ran in the family a little bit, and you know, the thing was that when he got, and I think it's a good takeaway just to kind of live in his legacy, is that when he found out that he had the diagnosis, his first reaction was to go in the chief's office and say, "I got to step back. I can't put the men in danger."
Yep.
So.
Wow.
And a cool story too is Captain Sipes.
Mm-hmm.
His son's a probie in my firehouse.
Nice.
Not a probie anymore?
No. Matter of fact, he's probably coming off probation. And I see things in him. I'm like, oh my God, there's Captain Sipes.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that I was always disappointed never happened is, and more so for the people watching this from Poughkeepsie, is Captain Brower stopped by my house that I was renting from Dennis Flynn one day, and I never let him back in to write on the walls. He was always going to write on the walls to bust Dennis's walls, but he never got the chance to. So. But yeah, so I mean, it was like I said, it was good times. It was, But yeah, hit on the stair climb. So what was your first stair climb?
The one that we did last year?
In Long Island, Belmont Park.
So Belmont Park. And
The National.
What was your first stair climb?
Would it be 2 years ago?
Yep.
Yeah, 2 years ago up in up at Turning Stone Resort.
The Chief Show. We've done that 2 years in a row. That's a killer.
Yeah.
It's in the stairwell of the tower.
That's the New York State Chief Show
Yes.
now?
Yep.
It's a killer for me because I'm doing it in full turnout gear, leather helmet, and an air pack.
Yeah.
Right.
Not for him in shorts and a t-shirt.
I understand that the stairwells get a little humid.
Yeah.
Yes,
They got
this
fans
year,
for,
luckily, they got some positive pressure fans,
Oh,
and they
good.
charged the stairwell,
Yeah,
and
so
it
we
was
can-
a
it's a training
godsend. It
exercise,
was
too.
great.
So.
Yep.
What do they
Checked
have?
off some
a big
JPRs.
ass fan?
Yes.
We had those up at a campground.
Well, I gotta say, I mean, we'll do some after stuff, but like this has been great, and we'll wrap it up. You know, thank you.
Why don't you grab a couple signs and
Oh yeah, you wanna
Do you want me to get them?
I'll show you some of these.
throw a couple signs up?
This is
Would you like the blue, yellow?
probably one of my favorites. I love the black and gold.
Mm-hmm.
The pipes and drums for Captain George Smith, a friend of mine, engine 304 ladder 74. He's the captain of the truck.
We got special operations over here.
Squad 11. Yeah, Yonkers is getting a new firehouse soon, so I'll make sure it's well appointed once they get it. That's their officers' union. So I like doing the Yonkers stuff.
What is your connection then with Yonkers?
I used to work EMS in the city down there, and have some friends down there. And I'm just a big Yonkers buff. I know there's a lot of guys that are like Boston buffs and New York City buffs, and I'm a Yonkers buff, and I collect Yonkers stuff. You know, I'm scouring eBay, Craigslist, retired guys. I've been pretty lucky to find some cool stuff. So.
Incredible.
Well, once again, on behalf of all of us here at National Fire Radio, thank you for having us. It's been great
thanks
to
for
come
coming.
here.
This
to
is
the-
amazing.
Thanks
The
to your
shop.
family for
Yeah. Thank you
The whole
guys for putting up
family
with us. Putting up with Dad.
and my
Keeping
dad
Mom.
jokes.
And the sawdust.
Anyway, everybody, this is Rob from National Fire Radio, Tucker Daly, Dan Shultz, and his lovely children. We will catch you guys later. Thanks for tuning in, and be safe out there.